morning, dear.
I do have to say, not only is this one of the most powerful Rowentas we're actually ever offering, but it is pretty cool that you can get it here exclusively. You'll see it on Project Runway like we did last night in the All-Stars. But you have to have the right garment care items to maintain your wardrobe, and Rowenta has been doing that from Fashion Week to now Project Runway for years. So
yes, it's amazing what they continue to innovate. This is really an all-star iron, 1,800 watts. I mean, that's the best you can get in an iron. By law, that's the most you're allowed. This is called our super burst of steam. It's an amazing burst of steam because of that 1,800 watts. But then the Soleplate, it's our 3D
bless you.
project. Bless you, Rachel. Project, actually, everyone thinks when I burst, you're sneezing. So it's a 3D Project Runway Soleplate, so you'll never see this on another iron. And because this is limited edition, you know, this was made for this season, which launched last night. And Rowenta and QVC are both major sponsors involved with Project Runway and allowing
limited
you something
edition.
different. Yeah.
You saw that on the side of this Soleplate.
Yes.
Right.
No reorder, only order of the year. So this is it. Once this one's gone, that's going to be it. 4 easy payments of $17.49. This was just introduced this week, and Diana,
just last
already
night.
1,200 spoken for. Just last night.
Just last night, yes.
And already 1,200 spoken for.
Yes.
So this is big one.
I love the fact, too, you have never seen a Rowenta iron with a leopard print. I mean, that's just never happened. And that's an amazing, fun thing that we got through Project Runway, and kind of the combination of, actually, that was inspired by one of Heidi Klum's dresses that she wore last season on Project Runway. And just something neat, but most of all, being able to have the power to cut your ironing time in half, to take great care of your garments. You spend a lot on them. How do you care for them? This will cut your ironing time in half. Not only can you board iron, not only do we say this is one pass ironing, but see how this, do you see that, how it's puffing like that? That is that 3D Soleplate. It basically lifts it up like a hovercraft.
Love that.
And it glides right over your clothes. But if you don't have time, to pull out the board, if you don't have time, you know, really to spend a lot of time taking care of your clothes, Rowenta can really solve that problem, because 30 seconds, this heats up, regular tap water, and you can just go right from heating it up to your closet on the hanger, and you can vertically steam your garments. So this is another great way to care for them quickly, get the wrinkles out, and be on your way looking pressed and perfect for work.
So often,
I'm in love with vertical steam.
Jackets and suits, we end up taking them to the cleaners because we look at it like this and we're like, oh gosh, I got to take it to the cleaners to get it. But really, if you have the right iron and you give it a couple of bursts of steam, you've refreshed it. That's all that it needs.
Exactly. It makes a huge difference in being able to care for your garments quickly and easily and professionally. I mean, Rowenta has been in the business over 100 years. So you're getting the expertise of a company that's been around manufacturing and making irons and steamers. But also, one of the reasons why I think people don't like to iron is typically I think people associate iron with drudgery, probably because you own something like this. This is like your $20, $30 iron. A few holes, you can see how small the Soleplate is, and inside is the steam chamber. Well, when you have a small iron and not a lot of heat, not a lot of wattage, and a small steam chamber, you don't get much steam, so ironing is drudgery. But here it is. Here's our iron. So you see, you have the 3D Soleplate. You have the steam chamber inside. This is the steam chamber that fills with water. That, coupled with 1,800 watts, gives you this burst of steam that bursts over and over and over and over again repeatedly, so that you can get the wrinkles out with ease.
I love this thing. I love the way that it looks. It's ergonomically designed. It's so smooth, and it really does the job. I love that Soleplate is tipped so it gets around the
isn't that great? That precision tip.
Contours, that precision tip, and it doesn't take a lot of work.
You are so good at this.
You know, I'm an ironer.
I love to iron too.
Pat is the vertical
She's
steamer.
a steamer.
So
she loves
doing the steaming, but we both love Rowenta, and I like the crispness that you can get in that collared shirt, but I wear a lot of wovens. So it's really, really all about the right tool. It doesn't seem like a chore
when you have a right
using
tool.
the Rowenta.
Well said,
so, like we said at the beginning, it's Rowenta is a proud sponsor of Project Runway All-Star Season 4. We're thrilled to be partnering with them. In terms of garment care, there was no question who was going to be the garment care provider for the show. They want the best, and so of course it's Rowenta. So this is now the most power, 1,800 watts of steam that you can get legally in the United States.
That's correct.
And it's in a really, really cool limited edition designer packaging, basically.
Yeah,
with
it's like
all
the
that
trinity of
same-
greatness, isn't it?
all that same technology
exactly.
we love. But here's what we need to know is that the
Right.
only order of the year is what we have right now, and that's it. It's exclusive and limited in what we have available, and once it's gone, there is no reorder.
Right,
And
that's
it's on 4 months of easy
that's
pay
right.
of $17.49. So if
I
you've
think-
always wanted a Rowenta, or if somebody you know likes to iron, or they're on the other spectrum, they don't like to iron, it's perfect because it answers all of the questions.
Right.
I'm somebody who loves to iron, and the Rowenta just makes the experience to me that much more
But
pleasurable.
you've been
I
ironing
put
with
on
Rowenta
music.
quite a long time, right?
I know, and I love it. Right.
Exactly. I think when you have a good iron, and Jane, I know you're a Rowenta fan too. When you iron with Rowenta, you don't really think of ironing as that big of a deal.
Right.
But when you don't have a Rowenta, I can see why you'd think
Why it's a
ironing was
challenge,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you can't do that with your iron, if you can't get out of ironing in just a couple of minutes, then it's like
You're
too much
using the wrong
trouble.
iron. Right,
My-
exactly.
I have gotten Rowenta irons as gifts from my husband and my brother-in-law. They both iron every day.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
shirts every morning they iron, and you never hear them complain about it because they've got Rowentas, and they are just the best quality.
Right.
So if a guy
Loves
is
it.
willing
That's a good
To
point.
you're right.
iron
You
his
got it.
own clothes every morning, then you know it has to be good. And even with the heavier fabrics, the denims and the twills.
Thick twills and
Right.
cottons. You're right. And because of the precision tip, because of the 330 micro steam holes all the way up this sew plate, that 3D sew plate with the precision tip, you can get around the buttons, the cuffs, the collars, these pockets that are really difficult that otherwise you walk out, you get this out of the dryer and it looks like this, and then you're like, ooh, are you really going out like that? No, you don't have to. It's really just 30-second heat up time, a little bit of tap water, and look at this. I mean, it's perfectly
Yeah.
pressed, and you look like $1 million.
And Rowenta's been in business how many years?
Over 100
Right.
years.
So this is the first time we're seeing leopard in
Oh, yeah.
100 years.
Yeah,
in
that's
100 years.
That's right.
Like, as
We
a
made
point
history
that's-
here, girls.
Exactly. It's like a history-making, design-inspired iron.
Totally
You're
cool.
never going to have seen this before.
Well, now 2,000 spoken for this week. We love being the first ones to offer
Yes,
this, the
it's
only
so
ones to
nice.
offer this one. And again, we love our partnership with the Project Runway All-Stars. We're going to say hello to Thelma,
Hi, Thelma.
who's joining us this morning. Hi, Thelma.
there.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Are you getting the iron for yourself, or is this a gift for someone?
It's a gift for myself.
Oh, perfect.
Today is mine and my husband's 50th wedding anniversary, so I'm buying myself a good gift.
Oh, well,
Oh,
happy
nice.
anniversary.
Gift.
50,
Yes.
you said?
And I'm calling from Eminence, Missouri.
Missouri.
I
Okay.
love watching you all.
Oh, thank you so much. So wait,
So I've
before
been-
we ask you about the iron, what's the
Yes.
secret to 50 years of marriage?
You know,
A good iron?
good iron.
It is
I
now.
guess-
It's for 50
I
bucks.
guess we just love each other,
Nice.
and we just love each other, and the Lord's been good to us,
Good.
blessed with children and grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And I love watching QVC. I was switching between QVC and our local news.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Well,
great.
thank you
Well,
for-
thanks for doing
thank
that.
you
We
so
appreciate
much.
it. So what
Yes.
did you think about this iron?
You know, I had one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. And so I've been watching for this one to come back on because I missed it the last
Okay.
time it was on.
Uh-huh.
Looking forward to getting it.
Good.
Awesome.
It
Hope
does.
you
It
love it.
certainly makes it a
Yes.
lot easier when you have the right iron, Thelma.
Oh, and I love that steam coming out of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the steam.
Nice.
Gotta
Yeah,
have the
besides
steam.
the iron's pretty. I like it.
Isn't it cool? I know. It's probably the coolest design ever.
Yeah.
It does. I'm looking forward to November the 10th when it comes to me.
Enjoy
Awesome.
it.
Good.
It's on
Nice.
its way. Tell your husband we said congratulations
Happy
and happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
I sure will, and you girls have a fun day because I'm going to be watching QVC.
All right.
great.
Thank you.
Happy
Thelma.
anniversary. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow,
That's
50
exciting.
years.
That's
That's,
such a blessing.
impressive.
Just, you
That
know what?
is such
Treat
a
yourself to an
blessing.
iron. Treat yourself and your husband to an iron.
You better give her something else too, though.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like maybe a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
How long have you been married?
Almost 20 years.
Okay, 26 starts going downhill.
No,
He
don't
doesn't-
tell
he-
me.
He didn't
Don't
give me
tell
anything.
You're so
no,
silly.
I'm kidding. Maybe he's saving it for 50.
Oh, that's probably right. I'm going to get a tractor for 50.
Right, right.
The 32979 is the item number
Yeah.
on this one. No reorder, remember. So what we have is we have happy
Nice to meet you, girls.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween
Boo.
to you.
Boo.
Boo. All right.
Your eyes aren't very scary, though.
Bye, Diana Irvine.
Bye-bye.